Happy Tuesday. What up? Oh, man. Feel better today. I don't know about feeling better about the NFL, but I definitely feel better today. What's up, y'all? Welcome into Sports with Balls. I'm your host, Jeff Michael. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Like Marvin Gaye. Love that song. Today is November the 28th. Big day for me. I'll tell you why in a second. Today's Giving Tuesday, November the 28th. What else national day do we got? French Toast Day. Don't know if you're a French toast guy. I'm not a pancake waffle French toast guy. I'm an eggs breakfast taco type person. But today is National Day of Giving. So, look, take your generosity to the next level. National Day of Giving. Try to give somebody something. And also, it's National Coal Day. My son's name is Cole. So, boom. National Coal Day. Madison Day, Patrick Day, Red Planet Day. So Mars, I guess. And then Anna Nicole Smith's birthday. Remember her? Wow. I got a great story that I cannot share on the air about Anna Nicole Smith, but it's pretty good. We'll leave it at that, but welcome into Sports with Balls. Today's show brought to you by Christian's Tailgate. Go to christianstailgate.com for a location near you. Award-winning food. Best place to watch sports and great drink specials every single day. Also, modern-homeimprovement.com, 832-930-0156. $500 off your bathroom or kitchen remodel. Give Josh Smith a call, 832-930-0156. If you're in the Cypress, Houston area, they work on my house. Absolutely amazing, amazing work, man, and well worth it. Well freaking worth it. Man, what a day. Look, woke up this morning to my son asking about those stupid elves. I don't know if y'all do those things, man. Speaking of National Coal Day and my son, those elves, they drive me insane. I'm sure they drive a lot of you parents insane, and I don't think there's any kids on here that are watching that are still, maybe y'all still believe in those elves, but damn, man. So the elf on the shelf is back in my house, and I guess I got to wake up early or go to bed late after the kids go to sleep for, 28 more days? Or golly, man. That's ridiculous. Whoever came up with Elf on the Shelf, not happy. Not happy. It is what it is. But Tuesday, November the 28th, man, great show lined up for you today. We're going to talk about that. Do you want to call that a football game last night? Is that what we're going to call that? I had people look. If you're good at conversation and you really a keyboard warrior and want to get on it, go to Sports with Balls on Facebook. It is unbelievable the content that I put up there, and the amount of people that argue about sports on there is fantastic. I love it. Now, there's some arguments on there that are not healthy, and there's some on there that are healthy. So just if you want to go argue with some people or at least voice your sports opinion, go to Sports with Balls on Facebook or any of the social media outlets. TikTok's really booming right now as well. But last night, I put on there the score of the game, and I talked about the NFL quarterback play this past weekend. And I got a bunch of heat. Like, oh, you're not a fan of defense? Look, that wasn't me being not a fan of defense. That was terrible offense. How many wide receiver screens can you throw? Chicago offense was absolutely ridiculously bad. They won the game without scoring a touchdown. I turned the game off. There was no way I was watching that. It was bad football. Like, I wonder what the ratings were as the game went on. It was just unbelievable. I forgot what the let me try to pull it up here. What the first possession. We'll talk about it in a minute. I'm gonna bring up that Chicago game in a minute because I got a lot to say about Justin Fields and some other things. So I'll bring all that up in a minute. We're also gonna get into some college games coming up this weekend. Conference championship games. There's some good ones. The Heisman watch. Got one more game. Bo Nix and company. Jalen Daniels from LSU. I'll give you the odds on the Heisman watch coming up and who I think should win it. And the NCAA college football playoff rankings come out today or this evening. So we'll definitely get into that tomorrow morning, but I'm interested to see what 5, 6, 7, and 8 look like. I think we're pretty solid on 1, 2, 3, and 4, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So Let's get into it, man. Welcome to Sports with Balls. Those of y'all that are tuning in on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, man, appreciate you. Drop your comments. I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. But let's first dive into this game last night. Yuck. That was terrible. 217 yards total for Justin Fields, 59 yards on the ground. No touchdowns. 0 for the entire offense. In fact, it wasn't just 0 for the entire offense. It was P.J. Walker, Will Levis, Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi, Geno Smith, Derek Carr, Kenny Pickett, Bryce Young, and Justin Fields all this weekend with no touchdowns at all. 0. That's bad for the NFL. That's 9 quarterbacks that played this weekend that didn't account for any touchdowns. That's bad offense. That's bad plays. Tom Brady got into it the other day, talking about how the game is different. Then you had Alex Smith yesterday going at Tom Brady, saying he played in a weak division his whole career. Come on, man. This is bad. This is bad football. 9 quarterbacks yesterday. Or I'm sorry, not yesterday, but over the weekend. 9 had 0 touchdowns. Not rushing, not passing. That's unbelievable. And then to cap it off, we had last night's Monday Night Football game that was an absolute disaster. 6 turnovers. 6 turnovers. One quarterback threw 4 picks, Josh Dobbs. Now you got the head coach of Minnesota saying, we're not sure who's our next starting quarterback. Total yards for Minnesota, 242, with 4 interceptions. Chicago Bears, 2 fumbles. It was just a bad football game aesthetically, like watching as a fan. This is what the NFL is trying to get away from. I don't know if I've ever seen a game with that many wide receiver screens. Like what? You can't throw the ball down the field? It was ugly. It was absolutely ugly. It was Cam Newton-ish, like the injured Cam Newton-ish, where you couldn't throw the ball more than 10 yards. That's what Justin Fields looked like. And every time Josh Dobbs threw the ball over 10 yards, it was picked off. That was a bad football game. 12-10, Bears win. Yay. Did the Bears want to win? I get it. I think they're still in the top because of Carolina, because Carolina's just absolutely terrible. So they're sitting number 1. I think they're 1-4 or 1-5 right now in the NFL draft. But the Bears want to keep that top pick. And if you're the Bears with that top pick, do you replace Justin Fields? Because the quarterbacks that are coming out this year are fantastic. Caleb Williams, Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix, Drake May. That's unbelievable. But if you're a Bears fan, do you stick with Justin Fields? You haven't really put weapons around him. The offense is terrible. What do you do? What do you do if you're the Bears with 2 top probably 6 or 7 picks in the draft? Do you get a quarterback? It'd be hard to pass on one of those dudes. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Bo Nix. Oh, my gosh, dude. Michael Penix Jr. How do you pass up on one of those guys? I don't know. Get a top offensive lineman and a wide receiver. Marvin Harrison Jr., right? That's if you are satisfied with Justin Fields as the future of your offense. I don't know if they are. It's either that or they got to gear the offense a little different for Chicago to act, or for Justin Fields to run it, because that was terrible. That was ugly. And it's not like they're playing some balls to the wall defense. It was the Vikings. I don't know if I'm Bear fan, if I want to replace Justin Fields. I don't trade up, maybe get 2 more. I don't know. You got options galore. And thank God Carolina is so bad, because you will have the number 1 pick as it stands right now. Carolina is just a bad football team. And, of course, they're going to have the number 1 pick, but it belongs to the Chicago Bears. Because Carolina drafted a quarterback in Bryce Young. That so far, and look, we don't know. I don't know if it was Frank Reich in that offense, but Bryce Young doesn't look good. C.J. Stroud looks great. And remember, the Houston Texans won the final game versus the Chicago Bears to slide out of the number 1 spot. and draft CJ Stroud, which is so crazy because Texan fan was livid at Lovie Smith, who was the head coach of the Texans at the time, for winning that game and losing the number 1 draft pick, which now turns out to be an absolute blessing for the Houston Texans, or so it seems on paper. We don't know yet. Like year 1 and year 2, way different. Remember Peyton Manning's year 1? Yeah. So we don't know. Maybe Bryce Young come to his own next year and be amazing and have a different offensive coordinator, different head coach. We're going to find out. Maybe CJ Stroud falls back. You don't know. We don't know. The NFL is crazy, especially when it coming to the quarterback position. 9 quarterbacks this past weekend had 0 touchdowns, rushing or passing. 9, folks. 9. I'd like to look up and see if that ever happened. I don't have a stat guy behind me. I'll try to do it before tomorrow's show. That's ridiculous. That's unbelievable. But here we are, state of the NFL. 5 or 6 good teams. The rest are just going for draft picks. That's or mediocre. Whew. That game last night, man, had me in an uproar. It just wasn't fun. I turned it off. I turned the game off. If you're fantasy football relevant, like last night was terrible. I had Justin Fields. Thank God I'd already won that game. Justin Fields, he put up decent numbers, but no touchdowns. Hawkinson finally scored the only touchdown of the entire game. So if you had Hawkinson and you were hoping for 10 points, good for you. But if you had anybody else in that game, maybe DJ Moore, 114 yards, got you 11 points. Well, if you're PPR, I don't know. But I just an ugly football game. It was ugly to watch. It was hard to watch. It just, man, the savior of the entire NFL weekend was the Eagles and Bills game. Because if you go down the list, it was absolutely unprecedented about the favorites that won. Listen to this. Cowboys favored, blew them out. 49ers favored, blew them out. Dolphins favored, blew them out. Falcons, I forgot if the Falcons are favored or not. Steelers favored, won. Titans favored, won. Colts favored, won. Oh, I can go down the line. Jaguars favored, won. I mean, it is on and on and on. Rams favored, won. Chiefs favored, won. It was unbelievable. Historic if you're betting the favorites in these games, because wow, almost all of them won. I want to say 80%, and I think 70% covered the spread. So we're gonna get into the parlay of the day here in a little bit. But if you're a Bears fan, man, let me know. Like, is Justin Fields your guy? Is Justin Fields going to lead Chicago to the promised land, to the playoffs at least, in the next 2 years? If not, Bo Nix, Drake May. I mean, these guys that are coming out, Michael Penix Jr., Caleb Williams, they're all on the line. You got 2 top 6 picks. Man, there's so much talent coming out in this NFL draft, and it's hard. If you're the GM of the Bears, the head coach of the Chicago Bears, like, you have got draft picks in your hands that could change your entire franchise overnight, and you just don't want to screw it up. Don't screw it up. And then, you sit in a boardroom if you're the Bears and all these supposedly smartest guys in football, and you got to find out if Justin Fields is your guy. You got to find out. You got to sit there and be like, all right, is this our man? Because if so, then it's easy. It's easy. You take Marvin Harrison Jr., number 1. That is not even a question. Boom, out the box. And then you get an offensive lineman or something else. Like, I don't know, edge rusher. But if Justin Fields is your guy in Chicago, well, then Marvin Harrison Jr., if he decides to come out, which we all think he will, then boom, you got your number 1 wide receiver. And then you have DJ Moore. And you can try to see if it works like that. But if you're confused on if Justin Fields is your man or not, now you've got an interesting decision to make with 4 guys that could have won the Heisman in any year. One of them did, in Caleb Williams. Who do you take? If Justin Fields isn't your guy, who do you take? Interesting offseason and interesting end season. What's Chicago going to do from here on out? Can't wait to find out. Welcome into the show, guys that are just tuning in. I'm Jeff Michael. Whew, what a show we've already had. First 15 minutes, lively as usual. Thank you guys for tuning in. Leave some questions if you got them. Follow Sports with Balls on all your social media outlets. If you missed any of this show or any of the other shows, Go to Sports with Balls in all your podcast arenas. Just talking about the Chicago Bears and what they're going to do with those draft picks. Is Justin Fields the guy? Is if you're a Bears fan, is that something you want, man? Or would you like to go after a Drake May? These guys are NFL ready, according to all the experts. Speaking of them, let's get to the college football Heisman watch. Who's your Heisman right now? Who you got? Because I tell you who's climbing up the ladder, and his name's Jaden Daniels from LSU. 4,946 total yards. 50 total touchdowns and 4 picks? Man. And compared to Bo Nix, 4,086 passing yards, so almost 1,000 more passing yards than Bo Nix. He's got 2 more touchdowns than Bo Nix. Bo Nix has 40. Oh, he has 43. So 7 more. Although he only has 2 interceptions, Jaden Daniels has 4. That, to me, right there, those are your 2 leaders. Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix. Now you got Michael Penix Jr. in there. 35 total TDs, 8 interceptions. I think that Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix are above him. And then you got Marvin Harrison Jr., who's awesome. Garrison Beck out of Georgia. Blake Corum, the running back out of Michigan. But if you're honestly, it's a 2-horse race right now. Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix, those are your Heisman Trophy candidates. I think Penix Jr. will get the invite. They usually invite 3. Maybe Marvin Harrison Jr., I don't know. But Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix, that to me, that's your Heisman watch. Bo Nix got a huge game this weekend. Huge game this weekend. If he crushes it in this game, because it's a standalone game, right? On Friday night, Bo Nix versus Michael Penix Jr., 7 p.m., ABC. I mean, that's a standalone game. As far as Heisman's concerned, there you are. If Bo Nix throws 5 touchdowns and no interception, he wins the Heisman on Friday night. That's it. See you later. Michael Penix Jr. could come up if he has an absolutely monstrous game and they beat Oregon by 20 to 30 points. But this is a fun football game Friday night. Really fun football game Friday night. New Mexico State and Liberty will play before that. Liberty at 12-0, ranked 25th in the country. Good for them. I'm actually probably going to bet that game, but we'll see. Oregon at number 6, Washington at number 4 play Friday night. Bo Nix versus Michael Penix Jr. Heisman Trophy on the line. Couldn't ask for anything better. Now, LSU, on the other hand, is not a standalone game. LSU will, let's see, who's LSU got? I don't even know who they play this weekend. They don't play this weekend. So there you go. That is why I think that Bo Nix probably has the advantage when it comes to the Heisman Trophy. Jaden Daniels had a hell of a season, but if Bo Nix goes off and they beat Washington, Bo Nix is going to get the nod. That's for sure. What else we got going on today? Man, Monday night was interesting, but usually Tuesdays are sort of slow. Y'all want to get to the parlay of the day? Let's see. Oh, you know what? Let's get to some scenarios for the college football playoffs. Who gets left out in this scenario? All right. Michigan wins the Big Ten. All right. They're going to be in. But then you got Alabama. If Alabama is the SEC champs and they beat Georgia, they'll be 12-1. You got Oregon. If they beat Washington, they'll be 12-1. Then you have Florida State, 13-0. They're in if they win. And then Texas, if they win the Big 12 championship, they'll be 12-1. So your 3 teams that are questionable, Alabama, Oregon, and Texas, all will be 12-1. All right, Washington they'll have a loss if Oregon wins, obviously. If Alabama beats Georgia, you throwing Georgia in. Texas is a Big 12 champ. You throw the Big 12 champ in there. Wow. The scenarios that are going to come out this weekend. Look, I'm sure the playoff committee hopes that everything falls in the right direction for them, but this is an interesting scenario. Like, does UT get in? Does Oregon get in? Woo. Does Alabama get in? That's the big look. It's controversial, but that's everybody. You want to see the big dogs in there. If Alabama beats Georgia, they're in. Sorry. They got to get in. And then you've got do you leave Georgia in there, or does Oregon jump them? Does Texas jump them? Because Michigan's going to stay. Florida State's going to stay. Both of them are undefeated. Woo. The scenarios coming up this weekend are a blast. Absolute blast. Cannot wait. Friday night, Oregon at Washington. For a playoff spot. That's it. That's basically it. All right, let's get to the parlay of the day. And by the way, guys, I'm starting a gambling show coming up here pretty soon. So go subscribe to Sports with Balls on all your social media outlets, especially Facebook. Right now, it's booming. Get on there, subscribe. I'm going to start a probably 10 to 15-minute show every day, gambling. I hit a 3-leg parlay last night. If you guys tuned into Facebook, you'd have known that. Won a few $100. Not a bad Monday night. I took Chicago money line, the Jazz money line, and then I took the 76ers, which they beat the Lakers by 44. By the way, LeBron James, all-time minutes played leader. Yay, I guess. I don't know. This in-season tournament for the NBA, man. Like, I know. Look, this is what comes next for the in-season tournament. If you, I don't even know. Like, I don't. Here's what I know. It's $500,000 to each player on the team that wins in the tournament. So if you win the tournament, you get $500,000 for each player. That's actually a pretty good incentive. Let's see. 8 teams advance to single elimination knockout rounds. Quarterfinals will be played December 4th and 5th at the higher seeded team. Semifinals December 7th and championship December 9th. So there you go. That's your NBA recap of the day. The Lakers lost by 44. There you go. Parlay of the day, because I do have some NBA to put in there. There's no college games. We are running out of college football and we're not nearing the end of NFL. We still got 2 months. But we are running at the end of college football as far as gambling is concerned. So parlay of the day, let's move on to tonight's NBA games. I got 3 games that I like. Number 1 is the Celtics, minus 13.5. This Bulls team that they're playing is bad, historically bad. So giving the Celtics minus 13.5. That game starts at 6:30. Did that line move? No, it's the same. All right, so I checked it this morning. 13.5. And by the way, don't bet these until it depends on what time. If you're listening podcast-wise, just make sure you check the injuries. Sometimes they have been resting players. They have. So they did it to me 2 days ago, and that pissed me off. I almost cursed. It's all right. I like the Celtics minus 13.5. Another game I like is the New York Knicks playing the Charlotte Hornets. It's in Madison Square Garden. The Knicks are playing good. The Hornets lost Lonzo Ball to an ankle injury again. The Knicks are favored by 11.5. I'll take it. Lay the points. Warriors money line. 9 p.m. The Warriors are at Sacramento. I get it. Sacramento's a better team. They're 4-1 at home. The Warriors are actually 5-3 on the road. They're a pretty damn good team. I like the Warriors money line here. So those are my 3. Knicks minus 11.5. Warriors money line. Celtics minus 13.5. And then in the NHL, because look, I want a 4-teamer. I'm taking the Canucks. That's right. NHL gambling. We're low on the. I guess we got to go to prop bets at this point. But I do like the Vancouver Canucks minus the goal and a half. So minus 1.5 because they're at 250. Make the odds a little bit better. So Knicks, Warriors, Celtics, Canucks, and that is your parlay of the day. Today's show brought to you by Christian's Tailgate. Go to christianstailgate.com for a location near you. The place, award-winning food. Look, I go there all the time. They've got an unbelievable menu and great drink specials. Go check it out, christianstailgate.com. Get to one near you. Also, modern-homeimprovement.com, 832-930-0156. $500 off your kitchen or bathroom remodel when you mention Sports with Balls. Special shout out to Joe Applewhite, Applewhite Realty. Get you a home in Texas, man. Call Joe. Making the impossible possible, 713-291-5270. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in to Sports with Balls. I'm Jeff Michael. Tomorrow we will do it all over again. Same time, same place. Look, today is a Giving Tuesday. It's National Giving Day. So get out there and give somebody an action, and National Cold Day. So my son, it's a national day for his name. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I will see you mañana. I'm Jeff Michael. This is Sports.